Hi guys, some pretty big news on the Monk test server today, namely this experimental aiming mode. Really has the potential to really alter the way monks, but also mages especially, will play in the future of Tibia. Now this is, as CipSoft say, based on a player proposal, that player being me. I made a proposal on the 26th of February, which is 9 days ago as of recording of this video. So CipSoft looked at this proposal, spent like a week working on it, and actually implemented it. They've implemented such a setting, I guess, so that waves or directional spells. So this is waves, monks waves for now, but also it will be like druid and sorcerer waves, as well as front sweep, also known as Ixori Min for the EK, as you'll be able to enable them to be cast in the direction of the target and not in the direction the player is facing, the way it is now. So obviously, if that makes sense to you, that means, for example, here, right? This is the little graphic that I provided to CipSoft when I made this proposal. If you have a target here, right, even though you are facing to the side, you would fire off your wave north towards the target here between the for any target selected between like the orange and the red line, you would fire your wave in the north direction. Any target between like the red and yellow, you'd go to the left, etc., etc. So that was basically the proposal that I had for CipSoft. This was the proposal. I've been thinking about this for years, to be honest. This probably came into my mind like 3 years ago or so at this point when I played a bit of a mage, because of how awkward it is to be like waving and turning, and I really didn't like this kind of stuff. But I felt it was a waste of time to ever make this proposal because it would never be implemented. But with the monk, I finally had my chance to make this proposal after playing monk for a couple of hours. I could tell that this would be helpful in the monk's playstyle, especially solo. So I made the point. So I made the proposal. Next day, or even like an hour later, Niadis replied saying that it's an interesting idea, quite interesting idea. He'll put it on his list, but they'll get used to it. They'll get to it in time for it to be used for the monk this time. But apparently they did. Only took them like a week or so, and they have this published on their test server now. And yeah, I played with it, and my personal opinion, somewhat biased, is that it's amazing. It really feels good. It takes a little bit to get used to it, so just a fair warning, the first time you check out this aiming mode, it will take a few minutes to get used to it. Don't do it on live servers on like a hard respawn, because you'll just kill yourself. Give it a chance. And it's definitely feels good after a while. Now, it's not going to always be optimal for every like vocation, every situation. Like, I can envision that in team hunts, for example, mages might still prefer turning rather than doing it on the target. Right, so it's not necessarily for everybody at all times, but I do think that for solo hunting mages and solo hunting monks, this is going to be a massive game changer, and it's going to make it feel much nicer to play. I always say in my videos that mages are not very popular solo because people don't like this playstyle. I think this might have a massive impact on the enjoyment of people playing mages, and I think solo mages may become more popular purely through this sort of random monk related feature, right, that I proposed. So awesome stuff. There's already been quite a few naysayers. I was streaming earlier, and like a big Brazilian streamer came in and started arguing with me that it's not the right thing to do. It takes away some skill expression, and of course he's right. People who've been playing this game for many years have built up this skill, and can use it effectively, and because of that make a little bit more experienced than weaker players. However, I personally am very against the idea of making skill-based decisions, like basing skill on quality of life features, right? I don't think your skill as a player should be defined by how you overcome awkward, clunky mechanics, right? When they added auto loot to the EK, right? I was an EK main. I was very good and very fast at looting. Sure, I suddenly lost the skill that I had at fast looting and keep going, but did I hate it? No, I was really glad that I no longer have to click every single monster around me, right? So yes, it takes away a tiny bit of skill expression. However, it's an optional feature, so if you prefer, you can still use it in the old system. Gives you a little bit more control. So yeah, I think this is an amazing change, and I think this might have quite far-reaching consequences, especially for the distribution of vocations over time, if mages do end up feeling much better to play solo over time. So I think it's great. Felt great to me for solo hunting, and I do think once people give it a go, they will like it. So you're welcome, I guess. Big shout out to CipSoft as well for actually turning this around so fast. I was not expecting it, to be honest. I made that post. I spent like an hour writing it, and I wrote it, and I thought, well, that was a waste of time. I just spent an hour writing this, and there's no way this is going to get implemented. And here we are a week later, and it is. So I guess it was well worth it. So yeah. Great to see, great stuff from CipSoft. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree with this change, disagree with it. Yeah, be happy to discuss. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll continue testing the monk. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.